All right, let me show you guys the games I played because it was day 100 to try to push for a 1700 rating, and then I'll show you guys what ended up happening. Okay, so the first game here was terrible. We both played really bad. These were book moves. I didn't know how to handle the English opening, but I usually tend to win in it for some reason. And here I took because I forgot the knight can come backwards and take my bishop. I kind of screwed up. And I make a mistake. I make a mistake essentially because I give this opening to attack my king and I lose a bishop. And my best move here was actually to attack this pawn. With the idea that if takes, obviously I could take back with the knight. But I could take back with this and, you know, it's kind of looking like a normal game for me. And my opponent just doesn't have the c-pawn. So I don't do that. Instead, I push this pawn. I just make a very silly mistake. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to keep fighting. And I do. Right? I'm going to lose the rook here. You know, and I'm like, you know what? I can trap the queen. I feel like I can. And I'm kind of right. I was able to trap the queen. I win the queen. And I'm like, okay, I'm down 5 points. I don't have any rooks. But he's not castled yet. And I can push his position. So I come in with the knight. I come in with this queen. I come in with the bishop because I calculate this, and I feel like I have a chance after that. Apparently I do, but the problem is I forgot that because he just developed the bishop, he could actually take back with that bishop. That being said, I come in with this knight, which I wanted to do a few moves earlier, but I couldn't because of the bishop, which he moved to castle, right? I come in with the knight to stop him from castling, and he moves his king, and here he blunders. He blunders because of something I missed. I could have had a discovered check, I'm guessing. I come here instead, and the idea here is that here my discovered check doesn't really do much, I guess. I don't know. To be honest, I'm not really sure. I guess I don't take a piece, whereas here I do. I didn't analyze this much, guys. Honestly, I probably should. I thought this was bad because, I don't know. I saw this move, but I didn't understand that I'm actually putting him in a mating net. Like, he can't escape this. Maybe the idea of moving the bishop was for the king to have an escape square later or to connect the rooks. Anyway, he comes forward. I bring my queen for a discovered attack on b5 instead of a6, which the computer wanted. He goes there, and I attack the bishop. This is to support the knight, but also to check the king, and to maybe... I'm anticipating something like this. Something like this going on, and hoping that it'll kind of work out. I know hoping is not a great thing, but... Apparently, again, I had the opportunity to just completely demolish him. And I didn't see it. I didn't see it because I'm like, okay, what do I do? Well, this is mate. And okay, what do I do if this comes here? Well, this is mate. So there were a lot of ways to get mate. And the only way to prolong or to prevent death is to take this pawn. But then another pawn replaces it to stop the king, to protect the knight. And then to go c4, I believe. Yeah, to attack the queen. And you really can't stop it. You can't stop the mate. Or there was a bunch of other stuff you could do, apparently. I kind of recognized instinctually that it was a decent thing to push there. So, you know what? I'm going to get some credit for it. I come in here. And here I actually think this is such a clever, cool-looking move. I think about what to do here. I think about, should I take this bishop? Because if I take the bishop and he takes, you know, I'm down 6 points of material. If I move the knight here to try to threaten mate, the way I saw it, the rook could just stop it. Apparently, that's not even the best move. a3 is the best move. Okay. And, oh, because he gets the escape square, and it's not even mate, right? He gets safe. So I actually thought here, and I was like, this is a beautiful move. I thought here for a minute. This is a beautiful move because it attacks the rook and knight. If he moves the rook, I could take the knight with check. If he moves the knight, you know. And I expected him to take my knight, which he did. But I planned takes... and then takes. And now the pawn is actually preventing the king from moving, which is so freaking crazy. What I didn't kind of anticipate here, which was a bit of a mistake, was that he didn't need to take. He could have came here. And I saw that, but I didn't recognize that this is very different now. Because now the pawn is not on d3. It's not stopping the king's escape. So very like subtle difference that actually makes a difference, which is why here taking back first like this is better. And let's say he comes here to attempt to defend everything. Then there's mate. And let's say he comes here to try to do something. Well, then mate is even quicker. So whatever, I kind of screwed that up. I take this pawn because that's the only way I see getting back into the position. He takes with check, he brings the bishop back, and here I see this move, but I don't want to play around. I'm playing a little slow. I didn't like this. You know, maybe I just didn't calculate it enough, but I really didn't like this. I should have liked it. I mean, I'm basically promoting. I'm going to be winning. I should have thought it through. But I thought, you know what? Simpler. Let me check. I'm literally equal material right now and pick up the bishop. Like, this just simplifies everything. And it actually does. No matter where he goes, his rook's not in the game, his knight's on the back rank, and I could start pushing these pawns and try to promote. So it's such a freaking beautiful, cool game. Okay, second game here. Look at the accuracy, guys. 87 and 87.2%. I felt like a boss in this game. Okay, first of all, in the Vienna, when people play a slightly different move order, I don't know the best moves. Apparently, castling was the best here. I bring the bishop back to open up my rook. And now I feel like this isn't too bad. I can kind of push for the center later on as well. I tax my knight. And here, apparently, moving the queen here was best, which is kind of weird. I guess the idea is to give room for the rook to have eyes on the queen, possibly. Or maybe to do something on this side of the board. Anyway, we trade, and things are happening. I take, he takes, and I'm down a pawn. I kind of didn't see that move. I bring the rook over, and things are like not turning out well. Pinning yourself a lot of times is just not a great idea, but I was doing it. I thought he was going to trade here, and I thought I was going to lose. Because I'm down a pawn. If he trades, there's nothing I could do. Like, if I want to keep the pawn structure, it looks very crazy. He could just push, and I can't take with the pawn. I lose my rook. Like, what am I going to do here? This looks terrible. He could even come here. He could come here. I'm surprised he didn't take. He got greedy, went for a pawn. So I'm like, okay, my queen could get into the position. I could take this pawn. We could trade here. I could take the center pawn, and now the center is not as much of an issue. I expected the rook to come in, push my queen away. He didn't do it. Now I push the pawn because, I mean, it supports my queen. It's getting closer to promoting. It felt like a good move. I bring the rook to attack the queen. He checks. I get out of it. Now I don't need to worry about checks for a while. And I'm kind of pushing pieces around. The reason I push this pawn is because I want to push this pawn again. But the problem with this move... Oops, I just had an alarm. The problem with this move, or what I saw as a problem, was first of all, you know, I can't take. It's pinned. But second of all, he might have this. Apparently he doesn't. He doesn't have it because then I could pin him to the king. Very interesting. But that's what I saw. So I pushed the pawn to get my king to a safer square on g2 a little later on. And here he does something very clever. I thought I was clever. Because I have this discovered attack. I might win the queen. He comes in on c4, right? Beautiful move. So I'm forced to basically trade everything except the queen. If I trade the queen here, I lose. I cannot stop these passed pawns, right? So I move the queen to check. I move the queen to check. I move the king. I'm just playing. I'm seeing so many things. I move the king here because this is a check that just will lose me the game, right? Like, let's say I take this or something. This looks terrible. Apparently, it's still neutral, probably because I could take the passed pawns away and I could just, you know. But, like, this looks so bad. It looks scary. It just doesn't look good. Like, I don't know if I would be able to hold that position. Anyway, I come closer. I check. I keep checking him. I keep checking him. I keep checking him. And we draw! I don't know why he didn't just, I don't know, go f7 or something. But I guess the idea is if he kind of stops watching the a6 pawn, then I have a chance to come back. This is an interesting move to have a discovered check. I didn't even see that. But I guess, you know, this kind of evens out the game. I have these two extra pawns. This is a passed pawn. Very interesting game. Okay, third game we have over here. Amazing. Okay. We have the, what's it called? Whatever, the thing when people come in with the something chicken. I always forget the name of this trap or whatever for some reason. But I have the best moves here. Typically, the ideas here are when the pawn comes forward, you take with the queen. Opponent will get greedy to try to get the rook because the bishop's watching. Queen goes to the side. If they take, this is GG's because of this, and this is... Wait, no. This loses the queen, and the bishop coming back is checkmate. The fried liver attack. Jesus, not fried chicken. The fried liver attack. Anyway, people play other moves against it, which actually confuse me. Like at this rating, people actually play differently, which is interesting, you know? I knew this was a potential move. Something like this, but this looks crazy. You have this discovered attack, which is nice. I don't really like it. So anyway, he doesn't do it, brings the knight, and I see, okay, my knight's not being attacked. It's still in a good position. Let me kick away his knight. And then he just loses his queen. And I reach a 1698 rating with that. So this next game, I'm going to hit 1700, right? Against a 1720. Well, let's get into it. We started the game. I have Vienna. I come in with the queen because no one ever plays like this. No one ever brings the queen out first. Usually, in the copycat variation, they copycat your stuff, and then they bring the queen out because they have an extra piece to attack. My opponent didn't do that, and I didn't know how to respond. Apparently, I could have just developed the knight, which makes a lot of sense and actually puts me winning like crazy. I'm assuming, because let's say he just does some random move, I have d5 attacking the queen, which is a very common idea in the Vienna and the Sicilian and a lot of openings, I think. Well, in the Sicilian, I feel like it's more from b5, but regardless. And he would be forced to go back and defend this pawn. And this is just insane. I don't know if I would be able to, like, actually do something here. But this looks really good. Oops. Nothing can attack my queen. And what do you do as a white? It's not so simple. Here you even have this idea. Something like this, something like this. You can't take because it's pinned. Ah, you come here because the queen watches the fork square. Anyway, that's not what happens. And I guess I should have seen that. I don't know. I didn't see it. This is what happens instead. I just develop normally. I move the queen aside because now this could become a target later. I wanted to bring the bishop here, but he stopped it. Fine. I connect my knights so it doesn't ruin my structure, and I take. Okay. Now I push my bishop back. I should have just fired away right away because this is not scary. After this, he has no attack with just a queen. I'm threatening the knight. You know, what is black doing here? Not only that, I could come back to e5, which apparently is the best move. Get a rook for free. That seems nice, right? So, a lot of cool ideas here that I just didn't see. But I bring the bishop back, trade bishops, and then finally, after bringing my knight back, I push this pawn. Not the best idea at this point, I guess, because he's developed more pieces. It's a little different. But after trading everything, I castle, and I feel pretty good. Apparently, this is a ballsy move. Everything is protected. He has no way of checking you. That is a crazy move, right? The rooks are connected. This pawn is safe. Instead, I castle because I'm like, you know what? I don't care if I'm down a pawn. I'm going for an attack. Here I go back and forth. I'm fine with the draw because it's just a hard position. I take. He goes back because he didn't want the draw. I go to the side, and this game is crazy. I come in with this attack, and I realize afterwards it's not that great. This is interesting. Gets to rook lift. Maybe gets my rook. Right after I made this move, I was like, this is such a weird move. And the reasoning is my bishops kind of feel stuck. My rook kind of feels stuck. Like, well, what can I do here? Anyway, I bring the rook here. He had this queen move. I wouldn't be able to explain to you why this works. I really wouldn't. Like, why can't I just bring the rook back here and everything is fine? Like, he can't take because of this. Ah, okay, because he takes the a3 pawn. Okay, that makes sense. Anyway. And if I went to b3, he would take the c2 pawn, I'm guessing. Anyway, this was a blunder, but I take the pawn because he went away. I move my bishop to safety. We trade. And here I actually thought, oh, does he have this move? This looks like an interesting move. It really does. I hope, and then I saw, oh, he might blunder it. I hope he might, but for a second, but then I'm like, we shouldn't hope in chess, right? Anyway, the game continues. And here I go for the trade. Apparently, this is such a beautiful, crazy move. The idea being that I'm actually screwed. I skewered my rook, and I can't move it. Very fascinating move. My opponent didn't see it. I didn't see it. My God, why is there always errors classifying? Anyway, I move my queen back. I'm at 1.5 minutes. Okay. He could take this pawn. That's why it was a miss, I guess. I attack the rook, and I take this very carefully. I recognize that I can blunder checkmate at any point. Come in with the check, I attack the knight, and I'm feeling really good. I'm like, let me just come back, simplify the position. Everything is fine. I'm coming back so I could attack this rook. He attacks my queen, it's fine. I attack the rook. And here I'm winning. I'm clearly winning. I spent too long, 10 seconds on this move. I'm thinking, oh, this is beautiful. I'm not getting back rank mated. And I was right. I paid attention to back rank mate the whole game. But what I missed was just a regular mate. And I lose the game. I lose the game. I lose the chance to become a 1700. I didn't give up though. I go up for another game. Jesus, look at all those freaking moves. I have a 41% win rate with the piano, Gucci piano. And they were all, fine moves. And here I considered a5, because a5 is such a popular move instead of a6. But I didn't understand the reasoning. I thought if he pushes here, I take, like, that doesn't look good for him. It just doesn't look good. And this, what if he attacks my knight? Where does my knight go? Like, yeah, I could go here, but do I want this closed off? Turns out, making it closed off basically means that he doesn't have as much of an attack there. And I looked it over, it's actually pretty cool. Anyway, I don't do that. I play more passively, I push the pawn. And I'm not sure where I'm going to castle yet. I'm thinking of sacks. I actually thought of, something like this, which is just terrible, apparently. I'm happy I didn't play it. I didn't feel that right. I didn't feel like I had enough material there. So we just end up trading a bunch of stuff. And then I recognize he has a crazy attack on my position. Like, Jesus, the bishop developing here, just crazy stuff I didn't recognize. And stupid me, I don't see this pawn move. I don't know what was going on in my head. This is such a simple way to make the position kind of equal. And I'm up a pawn. Instead, I play it like this. And we start trading everything. And here I make a mistake. I'm thinking, oh, the rook is protecting. He might push. But my queen, I could try to go for a trade. This should have been a very easy decision to come here. Protects everything. I get closer to a trade, to simplify, to kind of hopefully, be okay in the end game. Okay. Instead of that, I push the pawn, push the queen. I try to trade, and he gets away. This is my mistake. I didn't know what to do here. So I'm like, okay, my rook will be on an open file later. And then I move the knight because I think if I don't move the knight, if I just move the king or something, that doesn't look good. So I move the knight. I'm like, it's going to get into the position later. And I move the rook here. So it's protected. And I'm thinking about trades, about maybe, if my opponent just does something like this, then there's this idea I could win the queen, right? But my opponent is smart. I should have been more aggressive. This is a beautiful move. Still losing, but pretty cool. Okay. Also, he doesn't take a free pawn and attack my knight, which was weird. It's clear what his plans are. Again, I had the opportunity to simplify it, to try to trade, but I was losing anyway. And after this, I don't know what I was thinking. My rook was hanging, but I saw this, and I didn't like it. Apparently, I didn't see, with 2.5 minutes left, this beautiful move, winning me the queen. Well, this would be even nicer, right? I could take the rook first. But his best move would be e3. Then I could come here. I could come here. The game continues. Apparently, oh my God, I had c2. I had c2. Whoa, this is actually so much more count. Wow, it blocks. The rook comes around and blocks. Yeah, I did not see that. That's insane. That's actually insane. Anyway, that's not what happens. My rook hangs. He doesn't take it. And then I just get mated really bad. So now I'm down to 1680. And we'll rush through a little more. Here we play the Albin counter gambit. I always confuse it with the Falkbeer. And in the Albin counter gambit, I don't know the lines too well, but I know the first few moves just from playing it an okay amount of times. The idea here, it stops the knight on b1 from developing normally. He brings the knight, you bring the knight to defend, and the pawn comes to stop any bishop ideas, which could be very tricky. For example, if the pawn comes here, we come with the bishop. You know, if he stops like this, we could do this. Like, and actually, in this case, it doesn't work. But there's some tricky lines, I believe. Actually, maybe I should revisit that more. Anyway, I develop my bishop here. We trade, I get my rook there, and my opponent was like a 1700. Versing a lot of 1700s makes sense if I'm pushing 1700. We trade a bunch of stuff, and I'm happy. I'm neutralizing a lot of things in his position. Apparently, I had this beautiful move, which just completely pushes the knight out. But I didn't see it. I just didn't see it. And I thought a trade would be nicer, just simplifying everything. And here I thought my opponent would go back with the bishop. He didn't, so I take, double his pawns, and I castle. And now I start playing fast because he's playing fast. We're going back and forth, trying to find a good position. And this is kind of a very cool moment. The pawns, and I've been paying more attention to this in endgames, the pawns are preventing the king from going forward. I don't take, because if I take, he could go forward. And I mean, I'm assuming this is just terrible if I took here. If I took here, well, I'm sorry, not here. If I took here, that's probably terrible. Okay, it's not terrible because the pawn takes back, right? Because if he moves the king, then I could just take the pawn. Okay, never mind. That makes sense. But it just didn't look good. It didn't look good. Anyway, I bait his pawn to come in. He checks, and that allows my king to come closer, and his king can never come closer. He can never threaten my king. So my king can stay there while I do other stuff. I push this pawn, because if he pushes, well, obviously I can take. And it's on a dark square. It's also stops him from coming in. Apparently not the best move. I'm guessing I'm supposed to bring the bishop around. Again, I should analyze it more, but I just want to get through the games a little bit faster because there were a lot of games. And here I did something interesting. This doesn't work because if he takes, he's actually helping me push my pawn. So I thought that was pretty clever. I'm getting the king closer. Again, I try to go for this trade. Apparently this is complex, but I'm winning. I'm just closer to the other side of the board to help my pawn promote. That's basically how I see it. And here I have this beautiful move, and I see him winning. Why do I see him winning? Because he doesn't trade. He moves aside, and I win the pawn. That's it. This is a passed pawn. How are you going to stop it? He tries to stop it going to the other side. Doesn't make sense. Now here, apparently taking was best. I didn't like how close he gets. Apparently it doesn't matter. But I push this so he can't come here, and if he pushes, which he does, I just leave it alone. If he comes closer, I'm just pushing. I'm doing my own thing. If he takes, he's just way too slow. He's going to have tripled pawns. And that kind of already happens. So I push, and this is beautiful, right? And my bishop stops him from taking my pawn. Now, apparently I didn't play the best way. He could block my pawn, but it's just not... I actually calculate that I'm going to win these 2 pawns and win the game. So after a little bit shuffling around, pushing some pieces, trying to trade, I just have 2 pass pawns, and he resigns. So here I'm a 1689 rated player. We go through another game. Okay, pretty normal stuff, nothing too crazy. I bring the bishop back, kind of stupid. I miss taking this pawn a lot of times when knights move out of the way. And even if he takes like this, I could take with the knight. So the knight could travel from one side to the other side of the board. So that was kind of cool. Something cool that I missed. We trade, and here, the second I take back, I'm like, ugh, I should have taken with this pawn. But, this undoubles my pawns. I don't think it was a huge difference. We'll get into this. And I push this pawn because I just want to make something happen. This knight move I thought was so clever. I saw it, Jan Nepomniachtchi doing it in the candidates the other day. In a different scenario, obviously, but I thought it was such a clever move. It just keeps the knight in the battle on the side you're trying to do stuff. Not the best move, but not a bad move in my case. I just give up a pawn. And after giving up the pawn, I just had no way to get into the position. I thought my knight being a bastion here was very useful, but I didn't recognize that my opponent could get in very nicely, and that's what kind of lost me the game. So the queen move doesn't work because his rooks get in, the pawn coming in. That was so smart by my opponent. And I thought, okay, this is an endgame. Maybe I have a chance. I can take this pawn. The problem is not even that pawn. I'm down 2 points of material. So there was nothing I could do here. I didn't really screw up, but 79 games later, he checkmates. So I lost 2 games in a row at one point. I took a little break, came back to playing. And here, my opponent does something really weird, pushing this pawn into Vienna, which looks super weird. So I take the full control of the center. Because if he takes, I prevent him from fianchettoing, which is what he wants to do. And I'm targeting the rook, obviously. He fianchettos anyway. And I close off the position because I don't want this bishop to do anything. This was such a cool game. I played it super fast, but I felt so confident. Apparently, taking was better. My guess is because I can now develop an extra piece. And I kind of ruin the whole point of his setup here. I have the knight, my queen is open, the bishop my own bishop might be fianchetto to b2, maybe I castle, maybe I have some tricks that way. I didn't really see all of this. I just thought from the basics of I want to close the position off. He opens up the bishop, we trade, I get my queen in, and I'm going for the attack. I love going for attacks when people play like a King's Indian type setup. I just love attacking their king side right away because it's so fun. So I attack. And here my opponent blunders. My opponent blunders because they're losing a knight. They could have pushed the pawn earlier as well. This is such a cool move. The point of this move is to protect the knight. And my opponent has no light squared bishop, so I'm not worried about attacks. And my rook protects my queen. The game goes on a little longer. I pushed this pawn, to be honest, because I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to push through this position. Because I thought about this. And I thought what to do after this pawn pushes. Like, it's a little annoying. I think I'm still winning. Maybe the bishop goes to g5, gets into position as well, but I didn't do it. We have this. I kind of accept doubling my pawns. But I'm like, you know what? If he takes here, I'm blocking his center pawn, and I'm just winning. Like, my king is pretty protected. I'm going to get in. I can move my rook to g1. I was looking for a good time to do it, but I didn't really feel like I had a good time. And here I actually considered e2, but it was a little late. You know, I was kind of worried about this. Like, okay, like, what do I do here? You know, it's... I didn't like it. I didn't like this. It just... It's too open. He has that open file with everything going on. And maybe, you know, apparently that was better, it looked like, but... I ended up bringing the bishop back because he obviously brings the queen into the game finally. But I just take and I'm like, I'm just better. Like, he has no way to threaten anything on me. I'm just going to get my pieces into the position. And here, I recognize this. Didn't know what to do after this. Didn't see the hanging rook. But, I saw my own plan and I saw this was checkmate. So, I expected my opponent to stop the checkmate. But he really didn't have anything. I thought maybe he does this. There's nothing really. The bishop, the beautiful bishop, I put it on d4 on purpose to watch c3. And that was really key. Okay, so I'm rated 1687 after this game. Right? 1687. Now, this game goes into Sicilian against an 1800, guys. 1800. This is an 1800. 1800. 1800. I know I'm saying it a lot, and it's probably annoying. And some of you guys are like 2000s, like, yeah, it's just an 1800. But like, his highest rating was a 1900. And before my game, he won, right? So it wasn't like he was losing because of being triggered or something. Right away, I'm kind of getting outplayed. I know all the book moves in the Sicilian in this version, or I could kind of figure it out until move 7, which honestly I'm okay with. Here I should have castled. I don't. And taking with the bishop is better. Because if he takes here, I guess my structure is good and I have the bishop pair and I'm threatening this. You know, even though I'm down a pawn, it's not necessarily like too bad. Okay. I take with the pawn for... I guess I was scared of this pawn push and I just wanted to take. He takes back. I move my bishop. I take with check. And then I block this. Apparently moving my queen to the side was better. Maybe to have this battery against the knight or something. We go into this position. And here I missed something very vital. I missed this move. Beautiful move by my opponent. okay, like this is, I have to save the rook. You know, I'm thinking, oh, what if I do this? It's not worth it. This just looks bad, right? I calculated that. So that happens. I bring the rook. I'm attacking the knight. And actually, the knight move was a mistake by him. He had to come here, which I saw. I saw this move. The second I did this rook move, I was like, what did I just do? Like, I lost this game because I saw this fork. And I'm like, how the hell do I do anything here? I saw this, and I just stopped. I was just like, this looks bad. This looks bad. Okay. Opponent brings the knight. And I double my rooks. You might think, why would you double your rooks? There's a lot going on here. Because, and I see that this just stops all of my plans. I see it. And my opponent could castle. That stops my plans. My opponent brings the bishop. And I checkmate. I get a checkmate in 22 moves against an 1800. Now, for the rest of the video, I'm going to show you the last game. So I was rated 1698, the last game on day 100, to show you, you know, if I reach 1700 or not. So here it is. Guys, I just beat an 1800 rated player. Oh, wait, let me turn on. Oh, I beat an 1800 rated player. I'll show you guys the game after this. But Jesus. Let's see if I could hit 1700. I need 2 more points to hit 1700. Oh, damn. Let's see what happens. Okay, I hope it's a fried liver. It's not a fried liver. Let's just go here. Kind of copying the opponent. This is an exact copy. We could castle now. Could also come here trying to push away the bishop. We're kind of copying him, but I'm not trying to. It's just the moves I want to do. I mean, okay, so he castled. We can attack now. There's also this idea of attacking the bishop, which I don't do too often. There's some worry about something like this. But it looks fine. So let's attack the bishop. We could have come into the middle, but And I don't want to castle yet, because I don't know what to do yet. Alright, we could take it now, but we don't even need to take it now. We could push this pawn, attack the knight. The knight comes to the center, we take the bishop. If he takes the knight, we take. And we should be fine. I hope. Now it does allow him to come here. But can this knight do anything from here? Not really. It could get trapped. That's what it could do. So let's do this. I think I calculated it well enough. There was this idea that looked a little annoying, but that doesn't... Oh, that might work. Something like this, this, this. But then I could take attacking the queen. So this, this, this. Okay. Yeah, now we take. Because if he takes with check, we just take back and everything is fine. We have bishop pair. Let's go! That's what we're going for. We could also take and double his pawns here, which might be something I want to do. For those wondering, if we win this... Yeah, and then we could target it, and he can't take because of this. That looks good. We'll just pre-move that. It's the only move. Yep. Then he takes. Okay. All of that makes sense. Now we have this move. We want to do that. There's this move also allowing us to take, but then the knight comes in. I like this move stopping the bishop from coming in, so let's do that. Okay. You know, I should have expected that, but I didn't. That makes sense. Yeah, we have to be careful here now. I mean, how careful do we need to be? Let's castle. We want to connect our rooks too. I don't know if the bishop here is that useful. I mean, it gives extra protection to this pawn to allow our rook to move later on. And this is not really a threat. Now, obviously, if he moves here, then we probably go g5. Wait, no, that doesn't make sense. Okay, that was clever. But what does the knight do here? Aha, you see, he could already take advantage of my thing. The good thing here is that we have this taking. And I don't know if he saw that. So I played it really quickly just in case he didn't see it. We also have this move, of course, threatening mate. And it connects the rooks. We're in a good position. We're in a very good position. We're threatening. We're forking two pieces. Let's go. I just thought, wow, what if he came here? I thought it was a fork attacking my king, but it's not. This game might make us 1700s, maybe. If we win, this is a 1700. We reach 1700. Okay, yeah, he did that move. Okay, what do we want to do? We can check. I think this move is more flexible because it allows us to take the knight back. Ooh! Take. No, but then this comes with check, and then he could avoid checkmate. So we're gonna take first. Whoa, he could just take this. I'm so stupid. No, he could just take it. Wait, that was dumb. For some reason, I thought it was pinned. Well, I'm still threatening mate, so he's gonna take. I can check, and then I could take this. Knight. So. Okay, I think that was a bad move, because now we could attack the queen. Takes. Ah, interesting. He could checkmate me if I'm not careful. Let's attack the queen. That was a very interesting move. For those that don't know, the rook would have to come to take that rook, and it would get messy. Now, he could come here. In which case... Okay. I think... I think this is tricky. Takes, check. You know what? This is not checkmate. We shouldn't be scared of this. It's not checkmate. We could go to the corner. And he actually has no more checks. So I hope I looked at that right. Feel like I did. He could come with this. We could even come to h8. But I like h7 better. Yeah. I hope I didn't just mess something up, but I mean, it makes sense. We also have this opportunity for check. We could probably bring the rook around. I don't know, it looks pretty good. Very very crazy position. This just looks winning. I don't see how it is per se, but it looks winning. Depending on where he places his... Well, if he places his rook somewhere, we do have this check possibly coming in with this check and then coming in with the rook check. So my opponent has to play super carefully. If he just takes this pawn or something, I mean, probably take here. We're winning by a piece, but it's still a very complicated position, I feel like. We could probably take here. We have to make sure the bishop's not hanging at the end of any line as well. There's an h5 move to kick the queen out and to have eyes on g2, but eyes on g2 doesn't really do anything right now. I mean, h3 is threatening mate, right? If he takes the pawn, h3 threatens mate. And then we have this beautiful idea. So he could come in with the rook, let's say, trying to attack. No, he can't. Let's say he comes up here to defend against mate. We could come in with the check. He goes to the corner. No, I think this check is just super powerful. It's just super powerful. So something like this. Takes. Here threatening mate. No. Yeah, okay, so he took. Threaten mate. Goes to the side. Very tricky position. He can't check. If he goes to the side here... It's actually not so simple. Not as simple as I thought. If he goes to the side, what do I do? From here, we could come back here threatening this. This. No, I actually think bishop h3 is the best move here. Now, what if he comes forward? Then we could probably check and then do some crazy stuff. But here, check. Here, takes. Ugh. This is such a complicated position. I think we could threaten mate. Here. Or, okay, let's think. Here. Comes with this. This, and that's mate. The queen is off sides. Another option, check, corner. And then I feel like our rook can't actually get into the game. I honestly think this is the best move. Let's do it. I mean, I think his best move... No, his best move... I'm stupid. He can't move his king, because then it's mate still. Wait, I'm so dumb. Wait, so this is... Did we win? Is he gonna resign after this? Okay. Here... We could come in with the check. Now he could come here. We could... there's this. This. Actually tricky. Very tricky. Ooh, what if we bring the rook to f8? Now if he takes here, we just take and we're winning, right? If he doesn't do anything, we could take and just... This looks smart. I really hope this is not a mistake. If he takes, that's mate. So here... He has to move the queen somewhere. Bro, he can't even... Okay, so he would have to come here to target it. Are there any perpetuals? No, I think we're defended well. And then we could take and then do our stuff. Let's do that. Because this check looks really cool, but I actually don't know what it does for us. I really don't know. I wonder if this is a brilliant move. What a crazy game to reach 1700 if I win. We have so many forces attacking, but I wonder if he's going to take the g7 pawn, or I feel like I missed something, but I'm not sure. Like, this is not mate. That looks really bad, right? I wonder if we could come here then. Takes. Wow. Yeah, I might have screwed that up. Might have screwed that up. A crazy position. Is he really gonna run away like this? No, this is mate. If he goes here, that's mate. Oh my god! Let's go! We're 1700 rated! 1706! I literally just gasped. I went, I literally just did that, okay? I know this is a long video, guys, but I forgot to review the game I got 1700 with. And I just clicked the review button. I saw 90%. And I just want to go over this game with you guys. I have not looked at it yet. 90%! I had one inaccurate move on the game that made me a 1700 rated player. Jeez, okay, we play very symmetrically. Gucci piano again, another one I won. Again, kind of symmetrically. And I find this knight move attacking the bishop apparently the best move. This pawn move wasn't bad. I was thinking of this to essentially attack. I saw kind of ideas here. I mean, I went over it in the game. You guys saw. Okay, apparently stopping the bishop from coming in was better. And I played this pretty nicely. And even here, taking with the pawn was better. That's actually pretty interesting. And here I finally come with the pawn move. I wonder why. I wonder if it's because... Wow, this is actually pretty... This is supporting the center. Maybe I could push to f5 and I have this open file, the semi-open file. Like, that's the only reason I could kind of see that making more sense than taking with the queen. I mean, but maybe on this depth, the computer doesn't really see much of a difference. I take, I castle, bring the queen here. And here my opponent blunders. My opponent blunders because I do see this idea of a checkmate. He comes in with the queen, I come in attacking the queen, and I take the knight. And I literally have all of this playing out, and I'm up a piece, because the king is safe in this corner. So I literally thought that through perfectly. He takes the pawn, and it just puts me in a winning position, and I had the best move. Actually, going for this was better. Yeah, because if you guys remember, I was calculating this, and then I didn't see anything good. Apparently, this is mate. Okay, apparently this is mate because there's no way to stop. There's no way to stop what? Queen h4 looks like mate. I don't know. Let's say he comes here. Queen h4. Yep. No way to stop. Well, this looks like it stops queen h4. But then I could go queen f4. And this is mate. Wow. See, I didn't calculate that part. I really didn't. And that's why this was an inaccurate move. Okay. So yeah, I was right. Coming here, I was initially right. Coming up with the rook was the better move. But after he took that pawn, I was like, what is this guy doing? And it was kind of clear. Wow, his best move was to give up his freaking queen. Probably something like this. Yeah, I mean, he has a lot of pawns, but no. I don't think I would lose that game. Not even against Magnus. Okay, maybe against Magnus Carlsen I would, but... And here I saw the mate. Okay, wow. That was actually a super satisfying game. I hope... Yeah, I mean, just continue watching, I guess. Finally. Whew! I say finally, but it wasn't that long. Jeez, day 100 on my journey to 2000, and we reached 1706. Look at that. 3 wins in a row. And this is... So we started the challenge January 1st. I wish you could see, like, compare. Can you compare? Can you see, like, you can't do a time frame on chess.com. It's so weird. But if we go to, I don't know, 1691. Wait, if we go to January 1st, when we started this challenge, 100 freaking days ago. I did not think we would get it to 1700 this quickly. So we started here, 1533. We gained, in 100 days, we gained 100. Wait, we gained 73. We gained 173 elo in 100 days. That's not bad. That's not bad. That's actually not bad. And we just reached a peak, 1706. That it just feels really good, but it doesn't feel like enough. I feel like we gotta keep pushing. Let's go. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great one. If you watched this far, say 1700 in the comments, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for 101, day 101. Bye-bye.